Today, we're gonna give you our top 4 cordless picks at 4 different price points. We're starting this comparison with the Black & Decker Powerseries Extreme. It is one of the least expensive cordless vacuums on the market, but we gotta see how this thing compares to other vacs.
The Black & Decker may surprise you, Eric. Now, it's supposed to be effective against pet hair, and at first glance, you may think that this is a Dyson copycat, and you may be right. Its maneuverable motorized head makes it easier to get to harder to reach areas like under the bed or beneath the corners of furniture. The head also comes equipped with LED lights, which I like.
Those LED lights are sure fancy, but there's a problem.
Yes, the pet feature may imply to you that this is anti-tangle. However, in our tests, this was actually the least anti-tangle vacuum of all 4 of them. It comes with 2 main attachments, a fine crevice tool and silicone pet brush for furniture and other similar surfaces. In addition, there is a wand which is removable.
Now, what I think is really good about this vacuum is the battery life, especially at this price point. It lasts up to about 55 minutes. Now, what's also nice is the battery is removable, unlike some of the others, and because it's Black & Decker, you can use this battery in their whole series of things like power tools. You can also have an extra battery, which is going to extend your runtime. Now, unfortunately, there's no digital display, but it does have these little LED lights, which tell you how much battery life you actually have left.
Now, depending on what type of surface you're cleaning, Black & Decker has 3 speeds that you can adjust the power accordingly. And unlike any of the other more expensive and unlike any of the other more expensive vacs in this test, this is the only one that stands on its own, literally.
And that's not common, amazingly, with other stick cordless vacuums.
Yes, but manufacturers, please make it standard. I'm begging you.
Emptying the canister is pretty easy. You just pop it off. You open the lid into the trash. It has a washable, reusable filter, but we found the canister can be a little tricky to get off sometimes.
We measured the pickup of the Black & Decker Powerseries on 2 surfaces with 2 materials, sand and sugar, weighed out to 40 grams. Very precise measurements. And we found out that its total pickup was about 96% on all surfaces. So for the price, honestly, really good.
But Ryan, what about suction and airflow?
So for those 2 tests, we discovered that its airflow was around 28 meters per second and its suction was about 6 kilopascals, which is actually pretty low, even for a cordless vacuum. Unfortunately, in our signature smoke test, this filter did not pass.
If you have allergies, you probably want to look at a different vacuum. At this really affordable price, I gotta ask the question, can the Black & Decker compete with these more expensive cordless vac cousins? The Shark Rocket Pet Pro is a step up in price from the Powerseries Extreme. Now, one big feature you get in this price range is a Hepa filter. Filters particles down to 0.3 microns. And what's important about a Hepa filter is that it keeps all that stuff inside the vacuum container.
And this passed our smoke test with flying colors. Unlike other Sharks that we reviewed, this vac has a trick. It comes with something called Dirt Engage technology, which is supposed to deliver 2 times more contact on carpets and bare floors compared to the other cordless Shark vacs. Now, the power comes from its specifically designed 10.5-inch head that has 3 power settings for bare floor and carpet, plus this secret trigger that pushes the Shark into overdrive.
We tested its capability on the same 2 surfaces using sugar and sand, and we weighed them out each to exactly 40 grams.
Perfection. That's how we do it in the vacuum nerds.
And we found that the Shark was overall 98% effective at picking up all this stuff. And compared with other high-end vacuums like the Dyson V11 Animal, which we'll talk about later in the video, it's actually pretty solid.
Now, this is mostly due to its powerful suction and airflow, which we measured to be 25 meters per second for the airflow and 14 kilopascals for the suction.
And you know what? It also comes with an LED light. So if you want to vacuum at 2 a.m. and your power outage under your bed with ghosts, you're in luck.
We can vacuum out those ghosts.
Now, we just talked about our formal test, but we're now introducing our mega disaster test. Let's hit it. All right, so this is the Shark Rocket Pet Pro. Pretty good on the anti-tangle there. So this is the Powerseries Extreme. I think it's extremely tangled.
Yeah.
So the Shark is in the $200 range. How'd it do?
You know, it did pretty good. It was definitely better at the anti-tangle than the Black & Decker. The Black & Decker Powerseries here for $100 almost flat right now. This did really good on pickup, even though the Anti-Tangle wasn't quite there.
You're saying this one was better, but for $100, I think it's pretty hard to go wrong with this.
Gets the job done.
And I was actually a little bit surprised that these guys did as well as they did at this price point. This is like a pretty disastrous mess that I think no one would actually face in real life. And they both did a pretty credible job.
Though we know how exciting this is, this vac only has 40 minutes of runtime, which is actually slightly lower than others on this tier list.
But what we did like about the vacuum is the ergonomics. You can disassemble the wand to convert your dust hunting machine into a handheld monster with this multi-pet tool, attacking couches and cat condos to clean up that pesky animal hair. And you're also able to maneuver around tables and chairs pretty easily, so you can get into those hard to reach areas.
And after a long session of cleaning, you can simply remove the canister and dump the remains into the trash. Oh, and this battery, by the way, like the previous Black & Decker, is also removable to charge. However, as we send this Shark rocket off into space, we're beginning to enter the stratosphere with our next vacuum on the list, the Shark Stratos.
Now, as we're moving up in price, you're moving higher up in altitude, and the Shark Stratos, it builds on its cheaper cousin, the Rocket, with even more sensitive cleanup technology. It's something called Clean Sense IQ. So it has this built-in infrared sensor that supposedly detects dust you can't even see. And when it does that, it increases the power, giving you up to 50% better pickup, according to Shark. And they say it has the most suction in the Shark cordless family. I don't know if that's true. We should test it.
So we ended up measuring the suction and the airflow of the Shark Stratos, and it was pretty astounding. It is definitely the highest of the cordless Shark vacuums that we've had, at 31.3 meters per second for the airflow and 17.5 kilopascals for the suction.
However, that's not the only trick the Shark has up its sleeve.
Wait, sharks don't have sleeves.
Well, the sophisticated ones do. The Shark Stratos can do the limbo. It's a one-of-a-kind wand that bends.
Whoa. It allows you to cover more difficult areas. The wand folds over to keep your back in shape.
Now, you can also purchase the Shark without this party trick feature and save a pretty penny. It's about $100, but you know what? We like to party. So just like the Shark Rocket, this vacuum also comes with dual clean power fins. They're basically two separate brushes that make more contact with the floor, so you can polish your hardwood and tile, and it's also pretty good on carpet. Now, they say it's anti-tangle, but in our hair test, which is very difficult, it basically failed like every other vacuum did. Maybe our testing is too aggressive.
It is. On our pickup assessment, the Stratos was able to pick up 96.4% of all test materials on all surfaces. A perfect score! It also comes with an LED display, which I really like, and allows you to see what mode you're in and current state of charge. And just like all Sharks, it has its signature sealed HEPA filtration system.
But just in case, we tried it with our classic smoke test.
It's doing pretty good.
Now, if you think this Shark couldn't get any more interesting or cool or high-tech, it comes with a very perplexing feature. It's an odor neutralizer. Why would you need that? You can actually pop out this filter and it's replaceable. You put your nose up to it and it smells kind of like cleaning detergent. Yeah. I don't think it neutralizes any odors personally, but it does give your house a nice, just cleaned kind of scent. It's a gimmick.
It also has a great run time of about an hour and weighing in at about 9 pounds. Compared to our final vac on the tier list, this one's unfortunately a bit hefty. The moment everyone has been waiting for, the Dyson V11 Animal is the most expensive and most anticipated vacuum that we are testing today. And it has been one of my personal favorite vacuums that we've reviewed. So let me tell you why.
Why? Ryan, why?
While it may be one of the most expensive, it is definitely the lightest, weighing in at about 6.7 pounds. And Dyson says that its new model has 20% more suction than its predecessor, the V10.
Now, what actually separates the Dyson V11 compared to some of the other vacuums is it comes with the most attachments. The Dyson V11 comes with a traditional crevice tool. It comes with a brush tool that happens to have some firmer bristles. It also comes with a 2-in-1 crevice tool with a wide crevice tool, and then when you pop the top open, you've got a brush tool. And most importantly, what really separates it, it comes with this pet hair tool with this anti-tangle screw. It's really effective and really does the best job of all of these vacuums at picking up pet hair off of furniture.
The head also swivels the best out of all the vacuums due to its Dyson brand technology.
It has this lifting mechanism so you can change the height to account for different types of surfaces, so hardwood, carpet, etc. Or if you're going to clean up something like cat litter, which maybe you would because you got an animal and you're looking at a Dyson V11 animal vacuum review.
Good one.
However, on carpet, it's definitely not as good as the Shark Stratos. It tends to lock up a little bit. You have to pull it basically one way in order to clean on thick carpet. We put it head to head with the Shark Stratos, the big player, in our disaster mode test. And let's see how it did. All right, so Anti-Tangle on the Dyson V11 Animal actually looks pretty good in the real world. We got a single chip here, but I don't see any hair on there. What are your thoughts on the Stratos?
Honestly, I think it performed pretty well. It's $100 cheaper than the Dyson, and it was a pretty good match.
I think they're like pretty equal.
I would agree.
Even though the Dyson is definitely in a higher price category.
The Dyson has 3 main power modes. Eco, where you're going to get the best battery life, medium, and boost, which will give you a hyper suction, but only for a limited amount of time.
The motor spins at an astounding 125,000 RPM, and the head spins at 3,600 RPM. That's a lot.
Compared to the last generation V10, the battery is significantly larger, and it gives it a total runtime of 60 minutes in eco mode. Now that's on par with the Shark Stratos, but 20 minutes longer than the Shark Rocket Pro.
In its auto mode, the Dyson senses between hard surfaces and carpet and automatically adjusts to the amount of suction, increasing it when you're on carpet.
Now in our standard pickup test on hardwood and carpet, the Dyson picked up 99% of the total test material. I think that puts it actually at the top of this test, which I guess is not surprising, hopefully because it's the most expensive.
Now we measured the wind speed and suction with our high-tech vacuum gauges, and we discovered that the airflow was actually 40.4 meters per second, which is almost the top of our gauge and only beaten out by upright corded vacuums that we reviewed, making this the most airflowy of the cordless vacuums. And its suction was also the highest at about 25 kPa. So the suction meter was actually blocking the airway and it was giving us a warning sign. That's why you could see the pulsing on the meter here, but it's about 25 kPa for suction.
No, the Dyson has a filter that captures 99.97% of microscopic particles down to 0.3 microns, and it captures all of the dust and allergens in your house. I think it's pretty good. It passed our smoke test with flying colors.
The main canister opens with this trigger, which I also find to be the most handy out of all the vacuums, and dumps its material very quickly. So Eric, what did you think of the Black & Decker?
You know, for this price point at around $100, I think this is one of our favorites, and here's why. It's got pretty good suction, it's got pretty good airflow, it's lightweight, it's easy to use on the stairs. I like the head on it too. It picks up really well from carpet and hardwood. There's really only 2 negatives I can think of. So one is there's no HEPA filter on here, so if you've got pets and animals, you might want to take that into consideration.
The other thing was that it wasn't exactly as anti-tangle as you would like, especially compared to some of the other vacuums that all actually did pretty bad with our one test, not the best test.
But at this price point, I think this is a really solid buy. I've been using this for a while, solid construction. So in our next price category of around $200, what do you think of it?
The Shark Rocket Pet Pro, I like this one a lot. I think for the price point, just sort of like the Black & Decker, good suction, powerful, easy to assemble, disassemble, has versatile tools. The one thing it does have over the Black & Decker is it does have sealed HEPA filtration that comes with all Shark vacuums.
Right, so if you need to move up and you definitely want the HEPA filter, you should move up to something like this.
So next we have the Shark Stratos, which is in the $400 price range. Eric, how did you like this thing?
I think this is a particularly good buy, especially when you compare it against the Dyson, which we'll talk about in just a second. Of course, you've got the HEPA filtration, which I think is really good, but the main thing about this is you have the dual brush roll head, which the Dyson doesn't have. And this is frankly much better on carpets than the Dyson. It has basically all the same features as the Dyson. It has really good battery life. It's not as light as the Dyson. I will say that is one of the things I don't like as much. But let's talk about what you get for extra couple $100 more, roughly.
Yeah, so with the Dyson, mainly what you're getting with the extra money is you're getting all the Dyson standard technology, you're getting the nice swivel head, which is still pretty good in the Shark, and even the Shark Rocket has a pretty good maneuverability, but you get a lot more tools, particularly a pet tool, which I really like. So if you have pets, that's definitely a bonus for the Dyson. But like you said, as far as versatility goes on surfaces, this Dyson is much more of a hardwood floor vacuum.
But there's two things that I really like about this in particular. One is you have this sort of vortex technology. So this has really good airflow and really good suction. It's basically the top of the class. And the other thing I like about it is this is super lightweight. This is probably the lightest vacuum in our test. And when you're walking around a large house and you got stairs and stuff, this is really, really good. It's just not as good on carpet, but I think on every other surface, it's probably the best or close to the best. Although with this, you do get the dual brush roll head. And with that, you know what? Our data indicates that you are 92.7% more likely to have an amazing weekend if you subscribe and hit that bell right now.
Thanks for nerding out with us.
See you in the next one.